person. Now, student then can identify, okay, student is technically also a class, so it can identify also as a class. But student extends to person, so meaning student can also be identified as a person. Okay, so let's go to the other classes here. Let's go to staff. Okay, so let's go up, and you can also see. So staff again, staff also identifies as a class. And then staff extends person. So therefore, staff must also be a person. Okay? So practically, parang family lang again. If you inherit from someone, you must be related to them. And must be, you also identify as their identity. Parang apelyido lang. If you gain the surname of your parents, then probably you also have that surname as your part of your identity. Not your entire identity, just part of it. So that's why student is also a class, its own person essentially. And it also extends to person, your surname essentially. You also identify as part of that family. Now, we have here teaching staff extends staff. So for teaching staff, here, teaching staff. Okay? So first, it has the identity that it is a class. And then the second identity that it assumes is it's also a staff, because it extends from staff. But this one also has a third identity, which is also just, it is also a person. As through inheritance, it gained that identity. So practically parang family na again. So this is your grandparents, your parent, and then this is you. Even though you are not directly related to the grandparent, their identity is still passed to you somehow, some way. So even though teaching staff does not directly extend to person, it still has its identity that it's a staff, which is from the superclass, and then it's also a person, which is the superclass of the staff, which it extends to. Meaning the properties that staff has, which inherits from person, also teaching staff gets if it extends to staff. Okay? So that's just the conceptual part. Let's actually practice that here in our code. So again, our person class is abstract, meaning we cannot create an instance of person. What I mean by that again is person is equal to new person. So this is not allowed. You are able to declare, the declaration part is allowed, but the assignment part is not. So you can declare a person object, but you cannot assign it a person object. So declare it, and then you cannot instantiate it as a person. So this part is allowed, but this part is not if it's abstracted. Because again, the whole point of abstraction is we don't want our system to create data that is vague. So if this is a school system where a person of this school can either be a staff or a student, we don't want to allow a way for any user to just create a person. They must be a student or a staff, and that's why we abstracted person. Okay? So again, we are allowed to declare a person. So if this was a system where we can sign up, probably before I click the sign up, or maybe the moment I click the sign up option, a person object is created. Now, of course, right now, we don't really know if the one that is entering the data is a student or a staff. They have to choose pa. But right now, we already know na the moment we click ko yung create new person, nag-declare na siya ng bago. Right there. Okay? So next is, let's say may, ipapili natin siya 1 or 2 student or staff. Okay, so let's have option for that one. I'll just do the usual do while loop that I usually do. So here, let's just say, I'll just declare here a string choice, which is equal to an empty string. And then let choice be equal to j option pane dot show input dialog. Okay, and this one is just enter one. Actually, one na lang for that. So one for student, two for staff. Okay. And then let's just have here if 1, 2 dot contains the choice, we will just break. So meaning if I didn't choose 1 or 2 in the options that was presented, we will exit the signing up part and mag-proceed na tayo sa pag-enter ng value. So right now, paano yan siya? 1 and 2. It's 1, that is student. If it's 2, it's staff. Okay? So next is, depending on an option, of course, we must instantiate it as either a student or staff. We declared it as a person, but we haven't instantiated it as either a student or a staff. So here, let's have a, I guess you can do a switch case or you can do an if else statement. I'll just use a switch case. Switch choice. And then let's say case 1. Like that one. So if it's 1, it has to be a student. So person must be equal to new student. Like that one. And if it's case 2, then person must be instantiated as a new staff. That one. Okay? And then, so right now, we are practicing polymorphism because technically the identity of our person object there is determined in runtime. Meaning, if i-run ko ng code na to, doon pa natin ma-determine if student siya or staff. If na-determine na natin siya before ko i-run, let's say walang choice dito, walang user input, before ko pag-i-run, alam ko na ang person is a student immediately. That's not polymorphism kasi na-determine na natin siya before natin i-run ang code. But if ang identity ng person is determined during the runtime, meaning habang gina-run natin ang code natin, hindi pa natin alam which identity person is, pero after the user input, again during runtime, meaning gina-run natin ang code, na-identify natin na student siya or staff, then that's polymorphism. Kasi during runtime, i-identify natin yung identity niya. So, again, we are able to do this part where we declared it as a person and instantiated it as a student or a staff. Because again, a staff and a student is also a class and they are also person. So, we can declare it as a person and instantiate it as a student because student here is also a person. We're allowed to do this. If student, staff, and person are not related at all, meaning student and staff did not extend person, then we cannot do this code here, where we can declare it as a person and instantiate it as a student if hindi sila directly connected or extending to each other. So right now, allowed to kasi of course, student and staff are also person. If they are not person, then you cannot do this instantiation where we say is equal to new student is equal to new staff. Okay? Now, there is one problem if you are, of course, declaring it as a person but instantiating it as a student. Okay? So, let's go here. And let's say, normally we are able to access, right, if this is a student extends person, we should be able to access the student ID. Of course, in the person, we have here, let's go to person. In the person, we have name, age, and address. So, of course, ma-access natin ang get name, get age, and get address. And sa student natin, we have student ID and program. So, probably, dapat ma-access natin ang get student ID and get program. So, it should be available to us. But when we go here, and then let's try to access the getters, person dot get, we can see that the only getters we are getting, or the only getters that are available to us are address, age, and name. These are the getters of person. But remember, we instantiated it as a student. So where is the get student ID and get student ID and get program? If this is a student, why can I not access the getters of student? Now this is the problem because in polymorphism, the identity of the object person, itong object na to, is determined in runtime. And if during sa pag-run pa natin ng code na identify ano siya, technically hindi natin mag-guarantee na student to, di ba? It could be a staff or it could be a student. So, walang guarantee na ang person na to is a student. There is a potential that it is a student in this program, but it is not guaranteed na student talaga siya. And if it's not guaranteed kung ano yung identity niya, then you cannot access the actual getters of student. Kasi, if gina-assume mo na student talaga to, then we should be able to access. But since right now, it's declared as a person, and then later on, could be a student or could be a staff, you cannot have the guarantee na may get student ID ka. Instead, you could have get employee ID kasi a staff yung ginawa mo, diba? So, if there is no guarantee, you will not be able to access your getters. So, if you have that problem, then instead of declaring it as a person here, then you must declare it as a student. Because that would mean that it is guaranteed that at this point, the object is indeed a student. But on the previous example that we have, it was declared as a person, but there is no guarantee that it is going to end up as a student. It could be a student or a staff. And since there is uncertainty there, then you cannot access the getters of student. But here, since it's guaranteed as a student, when we get the getters or access the getters, okay, person dot get, we can see now that the getters available to us are from the person, which is get name, age, and address, and also from the student, which is get program and get student ID. So there is complications on how you will be able to access these data. Because of course, if you want to practice polymorphism, then of course you will not declare it as a student. You have to declare it as a person, and then later instantiate as a student. Now, of course, why would we ever just declare it as a person if you can declare it as a student, diba? If maghasal-hasal pa tayo, why not just declare it as a student, and then get name here, and then let's say dito, di-declare mo na din siya as staff, like that one, and then same thing, okay? So, ganyan. So, of course, this is a valid solution na instead of during runtime, i-determine natin before natin i-run ang code na it's going to be guaranteed as a student or guaranteed na staff in these cases. At least walang vague na object. On our previous example, of course, i-declare natin siya outside this choice. So, outside the choice, it's just a person. But inside the choice, it's going to be either a student or staff. But on this one, we remove the uncertainty and ilagay natin lahat ng guarantee inside the choices. If it's 1, guarantee na student. If it's 2, guarantee na staff. Now, again, you are allowed to do this. You may just not practice polymorphism at all. But why do we want you to practice polymorphism? Is because technically, the two objects here take up additional space. So, meaning there are 2 memory spaces that you are allotting for technically one purpose. So, before, when we had this part here, person, technically we are just declaring one memory space as the allotted space for this system. And then later, that allotted space could be a student or a staff. But here, on this example, where we really guaranteed a student or a staff, kasi i-declare natin siya as student and staff, not person, we are now declaring two memory spaces allotted for this, and only one of them will be used, diba? Kasi ako, if I am the user, di ba 1 or 2 lang may mapili ko? If 1 ang piliin ko, meaning student, magamit pa yung memory ng staff. Hindi, di ba? Kasi hindi ba ito mapili? So yung memory dito, wasted. It's just there. Available, but we did not access it. If I were to enter option 2, which is a staff, then ang ma-access na memory is yung sa staff, but for the student, available lang siya, but hindi natin gigamit. So it's a waste. But of course, for a small system like this one, it does not really matter. But the moment you are going to be involved in a bigger system, then if you have a lot of code like this one here, then a lot of your memory will be allotted to memory spaces that are not used. Diba? So if useless to siya, nagagawa lang to siya ng tawag dito yung compilation yun na resources. So this is not efficient the bigger the system is. Of course, this is a small system. It does not really matter that much. But the moment it's going to be bigger, like an actual school system, like our school right now, this is not a valid solution. This is a solution, but this is not the right one. This is not efficient enough. So instead of doing this, okay, of course, we want to declare it as a person kapag isang memory space lang yung magamit natin. Okay? So, let's see here. So right now, again, instead of 2 memory spaces na i-declare, it's only 1 na i-declare natin. And it could be a student or staff, pero at least, regardless sa choice ko, guarantee na magamit yung memory. Walang wasted the memory slots, right? So, again, the memory slots is just the analogy. There is a better way to explain it, but it's a bit convoluted, I suppose. So, I will just use analogy to explain it. So now, if we are not allowed, of course, if we do the solution where we declared it as a person, and then later, tawag dito, declare it as a person, and then later, we want to access the data, what do we actually do in that case? So, of course, one of the cases na magamit natin to is probably sa introduction. For example, magawa tayo ng sentences like, hello, I am the name, the age, the student ID, and the program. Now, on this program that we already created, there is already a solution. So, when we have an introduction, we are technically just calling the introduction method that was required by the. Okay, remember, person here, the abstract class, required all subclasses to have introduction. So dito pa lang, we require all subclasses to have an introduction, so that if we ever want to create an introduction for a student and a staff, we will not use the getters, but instead, we will just call upon the introductions available to student. So here, yung introduction niya, for this one, ma-access niya yung get name, get age, and get address. And since student ID and program is local to it, it is also accessible to that class. So right here, access natin all the fields. Pero sa main, of course, we are not able to access student ID and program, di ba? So instead of handling those data in the main, handle the data na hindi nyo ma-access inside the classes that they belong to. So meaning, instead of creating a sentence here in introduction, the introduction itself should be local to the student or the staff. So, of course, if I were to run this, say 1, then okay. So, of course, ang pipili ko kay 1, which is the person, which is the student. Of course, ito yung introduction ng student. I have the student ID of null. I am in null, which is the program. So, hindi natin ginawa itong introduction inside the main. Right? We made this introduction inside student. Kasi ma-access natin yun. And it is guaranteed na meron din siya na class. Okay? So, Now, if we were to have the concept of guarantee, why can we access introduction but not the get student ID and get program? So, if that's the case, let's go to the person again. Now, remember, person has get name, get age, and get address. If we declare it as a person, guarantee na ma-access natin yan kasi declared ba siya sa person, right? If we declare it as a person, then guarantee na may get age, get address, and get name. Pero if we instantiated it as a student, so for this one here, if we instantiate it as a student or a staff, may guarantee ba na the object will have get student ID or get program? Wala ba? If we declare this a person and then later probably instantiate it as a student or a staff, may guarantee ba na may get student ID or get program? Meron ba or wala? So for this one, walang guarantee kasi again, it's determined by my user input, diba? During the runtime. If 1 ang ipili ko, student siya. If 2, staff. So walang guarantee na student siya. And therefore, walang guarantee na ma-access dapat natin ang get student ID and get program. Pero we can access introduction kasi all subclasses has an introduction required by the person class. Kasi di ba, i-abstract natin na ang introduction na method, this one. So this method is the one that is requiring all subclasses to have an introduction method. And meaning, if we declare it as a person and instantiate it as either a student and a staff, regardless if student or staff, do we have an introduction? So again, if ever to find the question, if we declare it as a person and then later I will instantiate it as a student or a staff, will that matter in accessing introduction? If ang introduction is abstract. Again, is there a guarantee na ma-access pa introduction? Okay? So, again, this is an abstract method, right? Introduction. And remember, student and staff extends person. So, if my abstract introduction here, then there must be an introduction also for student and staff. Okay? So now, if that's the case, na if the abstract na siya na method and guarantee na all subclasses have an introduction, so regardless kung ano yung dipili ko, 1 or 2, maka-access pa rin ako introduction, right? Yes. Diba? Kasi regardless if student or staff, may introduction ba?
Yes, sir.
Meron, diba? So, same case lang din. If regardless if student or staff, maka-get name ako, right? Kasi person man sila both. Maka-get age ako kasi person sila both. And if maka-get address ako kasi person sila both na possibilities. Pero hindi ako maka-get program and get student ID kasi in both cases cannot guarantee na student siya. It's either going to be a student and a staff, and not all subclasses has get program and get student ID dito. And staff has no get program, get student ID. It has get employee ID and get work description. But both of them have an introduction which is required by the person. Okay? So, may guarantee tayo na regardless kung ano yung dipili natin na identity niya, we know that there is at least an introduction. And that is guaranteed through the abstraction that we did. If hindi siya abstract, walang guarantee and hindi kayo required. Pero kung abstracted siya, required and therefore guaranteed. Okay? So, if hindi natin siya i-abstract, then wala tayong guarantee na may introduction tayo. Okay? So, I guess ang pangalan natin is, okay? So next is, of course, if magawa tayo ng object like this one, of course, we have to set the values, right? We have to set name, set age, set address, and then probably set student ID, set program for if we create a student here. Now, again, tell me if it's guaranteed or not. How about set name? Is that guaranteed? Yes? How about set age?
Yes.
Set address?
Yes.
Set student ID?
No.
No, and set program?
No.
No, so we assume that if I were to use the dot operator and then try to type set, wala dapat ang set program and set student ID here. Set And we can see na the setters that are available to us are address, age, and name only because they are the only ones that are guaranteed. Student ID and program, employee ID and work description are not guaranteed. It's not really determined immediately. So if that's the case, how do we set the values for those attributes? So in those cases, dapat gamitin na natin yung constructors that accepts all the attributes that are needed. Kasi, even though we cannot use the setters, we can still use the constructors of all the classes. So, yung constructor dito sa student, remember we have a constructor that is empty and a constructor that accepts all student ID, program, name, age, and address. So, if ma-access natin yung constructors, then we can set the values through the constructors. So, for this one, since ang constructors ang gamitin natin pang set ng values, then we must get our user inputs first before we create the object. Okay? So here, let's have string name is equal to J option string that show, no, not show console dialog. Should be dot show okay. So enter name here. And that one, and of course we will have a string age and address. Okay, so enter age here. And then finally, string address. Address. Okay, J option thing. Show. Okay. Enter address. That one. Okay. So if one option, name, age, and address, and finally, we will also have student ID and program. So this one will be ID and for this one, this is going to be a program. Okay. So same case here. This should be program. Okay. And this one is enter ID. Okay. That one. So now, since we have all the data before we instantiated the object, this is the moment that we will pass the object in the constructor. ID, program, name, address na yata first, and then age. That one. Okay? So again, this is probably how you will do it. If you declared it as a person and then instantiated it as a student later on, you must use the constructor to set the values, not the setters or getters at all. And then you will pass the values, of course, before the user input muna, and then pass the values of constructors. Okay? So let's run this one. So again, let's choose student. And then let's enter name, let's say John, okay? And then age, let's say 21, okay? And then address, let's say Davao, okay? And then ID, let's say 123. And finally, for the program, let's say CS, okay? And then if we enter this one, okay? So the introduction will be displayed in the console. Ano siya display? Ay, kasi hindi ko gitawag ang introduction. Okay, my bad. Dapat palagi ko siya. So this one is person.introduction kasi may guarantee ng introduction. Okay, at 6 tayo. 1. 21 Davao 2, 3. And finally, CS. Okay? And then we have the introduction. Okay, here. So, of course, this was the values that we entered. Okay, mali lang yung sequence. Down years old, living in 21. I have student ID of 1, 2, 3, and I am CS. So, balitan lang yung address and age. But the point is there na if we want to practice polymorphism, settle down, sit down. Okay? So, if you want to practice polymorphism, you must do this process where you declare it as the superclass, and then you will get all the fields relevant to the class, and then use the constructor to instantiate it as a student or staff, and pass the arguments here. And then, kayo na bahala if magkaroon ng introduction or summary of sorts. Okay? So, next thing is, of course, for the staff. Then, so we will just copy this part and then move it below, like that one. And then instead of program here, this must be work description or work na lang. So this is work. Okay? And emp ID or employee ID, I mean. Emp ID. Okay? And again, this is just for our staff here. Instead of the empty constructor, we will use the constructor that accepts the arguments. So this one will be emp ID, work, name, age, and address. That one. Okay, and then so X, let's just put the. Okay, let's move this na lang below. Okay, so. Okay. So let's just say here. So this one, let's have staff as the example. Okay. So 2 staff, and then let's enter name. Let's say Samantha. Okay. Let's have 19. Address is Davao. Employee ID is 321, and the work is, let's say, guard. Okay. So after that is, of course, the introduction for the staff. So again, this is again how you will do polymorphism. You will declare it as a superclass. And depending on the choice, again, you will enter specific amounts of values, and then later on, instantiate it by calling the constructor that accepts the arguments. Okay? So, questions for this one? Questions? Ayan, dapat. Ikaw pala dapat sa 100 pa rin. For this one,
You have to initialize your name, address,
Hindi.
other
Technically, since nag-ulit tayo ng name, age, and address, dapat isahan na lang yun siya. Kasi guarantee man na may name, age, and address. So, ang gigamit ko kasi kay switch case, kaya hindi ko siya mag-ganun. Pero if we were to be more efficient, because again, we are repeating ourselves here, I'll just change this into an if statement. If choice dot equals, in our case, let's have 1, and then tanggalin ko ito na part here, X here, and then this one will be the second part. Actually, dapat tanggalin ko na lang ito muna there, then else if dito choice dot equals, in our case, 2. Dapat dito yan siya. Okay? So, right now, bibago ko lang siya to an if-else-if statement. Okay, para matanggal ko tong repetition na part. So again, we are repeating ourselves here. We have name, age, and address. Name, age, and address. Sa switch case, may problem lang doon kasi hindi ko siya matawag sa labas. So for this one, we change ko sa to an if-else. So at least ma-move ko na to siya outside. And para same na sila na isa lang yung name, age, and address na space. Okay? So here, let's just have this. Okay? So again, before, we had name, age, and address for both option 2 and option 1. But now we only have one name, age, and address sa labas ng option. And then it's still accessible to either student or staff. Kasi regardless of course na pinili ko either 1 or 2, guaranteed na may name, age, and address. Kasi 1 or 2, both person both have name, age, and address, then there is no need for you to put it inside the condition. But of course, inside the condition are the other specific attributes that you need. So, of course, ang configuration is if 1, my ID and program, or if 2, employee ID and work. So again, this is more efficient because of course, if you declare something, it will take a memory slot. So kanina, when we had 2 name, age, and address on both 1 and 2, you are taking twice as much memory space. But for this one, isa lang na name, age, and address, so isang memory space lang yun per variable na state naman yung purpose. Okay? Again, question? Questions? Questions? Ano yung exam nyo is next week, right? 1 is holiday. So, 3 tayo mag-exam. And sa 3 is your written. And sa next week niyan, which is April 8, is wala din. Wag na lang. So 3 and 10 exam niyo. But at least madami yung time before yung mga exams. Delayed na masyado kayo pa-fence time. Bakit walang 7, 8, 9?
Ano po sir, sabi po ni President Father Carl Juan, you know, he said for the mental health of everybody.
That's your mental health month yan eh.
And really?
Like entire month kami walang klase.
Sir.
Pero sa inyo like 3 days lang.
7, 8, 7, 8,
So 2 days lang yun siya na.
Yeah.
Grabe, kailangan yung you know, mental health is important.
Tama. Thank you, sir.
Before. 1 month man kami, di ba?
So sir, that's alam. Sir, na kami rin 1 day, sir, mabuk niyo yung dates ng exam.
No, again, it's April 3 and 10.
1 week, sir. Or 1 day, sir. 15 and bring back the 1 week. Sir, 1 day, sir.
By the way, sa pre-fi, again, your final project is going to be a presentation. May defense sit down again. So pre-fi, you will not have an examination. It will be a defense. Okay? So, you will, ilan may kayo dito na class? 36, I think. Ganun number. So, either 36 or 37, something like that, or 35 lang ba? So, ilan ba? Ilan tayo sa class na to?
Ayun na pagkulog sugi.
Nakakulit. Ilan man? 36 35 or... Except lang, except kay Mr. or Miss
37 goes
37 divided by 6.
Wala, di ba si Yu dyan? Or... Yan gani, wala na gani yan.
36, sir.
So 36. So, technically groups of 5 kay... 5 groups, I mean. 5. 7, may isa na 8 yata. So 7 for
Kami na 8. Kami na 8.
8 dalawa. Okay, so the groupings, by default, it will be determined by performance. But of course, I will allow you to have an option to give me a groupings by choice. Now, the kwan here is, the kwan natin dito is, of course, if kwan siya, tawag dito, if by choice siya na groupings, technically, yung last na group is nag-group sila by force, right? Kasi if ang first 4 groups, kaya gipilit talaga nila members nila, the 5th group will have yung members nila, yung parang sila na natira, di ba? So, sila yung na, by default, nag-group sila kasi sila yung natira na members na wala napili, right? So, ang pa natin dito is if anyone in your section wants to like ayaw niya yung groupings by choice, then we will go back to groupings by performance. And when I say groupings by performance, both prelim and midterms nyo, i-grade ko na siya after sa exam nyo actually. So, we will grade it. I probably sa inyo kay prelims lang kaya para mas malaki na time para magbigay ako ng instructions sa pre-5. So, yeah, probably sa first or second week sa April, bigay ko na yung prelim sa prelim. But groupings ko kayo by performance, and what I mean by that is most of the students that are high performing sa taas will not be grouped together. And then we will distribute each high performing, and then so on and so forth. And then, kaya para group natin siya by performance instead. Okay? And you will be defending a program that is going to practice all of the lessons that we discussed. The program itself will not be the one I am grading. I am grading your defense of that program. Okay? So, each of the members in your defense, the schedule in the defense, I will ask a question, and if any of your members cannot answer the question, we will deduct 10 points from the maximum score. Okay? Depending on how irrelevant your answer is. Of course, if it's close enough, then -2. But if it's sort of off, then -5. But if it's not really the right answer, -10 immediately. Okay? So you will start, all of you will start with 100 as a group. And then per wrong answer, we will deduct scores. And lahat kayo will get that score. So the program itself does not matter. What matters is your knowledge of our lessons, of all the concepts, and your understanding of that program. So you are incentivized to create whatever program you want, as long as it practices all of our lessons. But the more complicated it is, the more harder it is to defend. So make sure that there is a balance of all the concepts practiced, and do not overcomplicate it. Because again, I am not grading the program, I am grading your knowledge of that program. Okay? So, it's up to you. Ang iba ganun kayo, nagawa sila ng game or something complicated, but of course, it's an impressive system. Like, nagawa talaga sila ng Flappy Bird na program or na game. Pero the thing is, it's harder to defend. Kasi, of course, probably, as I've observed before, student pa or now as a prof, probably 1 or 2 students will be the one making it, and the other members will be studying or be giving suggestions or whatever they are going to be doing. So if 1 or 2 people will be the one programming, they would probably have greater knowledge of the program. But what if I question the ones that did not really participate, right? So of course, it's still expected that probably 1, 2, or all of the members will create a program, but at least have the knowledge of all of your system. At least kanang studyhan nyo. Even if wala kang ginawa ng programming, at least studyhan nyo yung program na ginawa nyo. Okay? Like, ano yung mga methods na ginawa, ano yung concepts related to it, and all of that. And i-import natin na packages, ano yung mga method calls na ginawa natin. Okay? Okay, again, you will be graded as a group, and that will be, there is no written or programming exam, that will be your pre-fight exam, a defense. Okay? So, if you have groupings by choice right now, pwede na pag-usapan. But again, if may magreklamo man about the groupings by choice, i-group kayo by performance. Okay? Now, technically, there is that aspect kasi sa defense nyo, I will not, there is no guarantee na matanong ka as a member. I will randomize a number. I will assign each number to the members, and then depending on the randomly generated number will be a person I will ask. And that would mean na, well, probably hindi ka ma-ask at all during the entire defense, or ikaw lang yung ma-ask for the entire defense. Okay? Because again, I want to reduce all the bias that I have to make sure na I will not target a person. So we will determine the choice na pilian na person by randomness. Okay? So again, you have to study the program. Kasi even if, let's say, na-studyhin nyo lahat, if let's say yung one person na hindi nag-study masyado, siya yung randomly choose, parang apiki sa inyong entire group, right? So make sure na you will cooperate at least and study the program that you will be developing. There's no, hindi required na mag-GUI. Pwede lang siya na all in the console, lahat. Though if it's in the console, gawin nyo namang konting design, like probably mga dashes or mga dividers or what. Kasi sa console lang tayo. So, ganun lang kasi po. Of course, if prof nyo ako sa OOP next year, mag-GUI na talaga tayo for that one. Okay, question? Hindi nag? Again, if wala siya nag-help, you should report it to me like 2 weeks before your defense. Kaya para ikwa natin na, of course, if matanggal talaga siya and all of the other members agree na tanggalin siya, then immediately fail siya sa pre-fight. Of course, all the members should agree to that. Except for the one that you are reporting, of course. Okay? So, right now, wala naman akong i-discuss additional. So, I want you to first probably discuss yung groupings ninyo. Kaya nabala if you want to use the whiteboard para mag-groupings or whatever. And then, if ever makadetermine na kayo ng groupings, discuss the concept of your program. Okay, para as early as now, may mapili na